my story begins in Amsterdam, where I grew up. With a big family. I've always been creative little girl, drawing, and didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew it was something creative. And then after my high school, I went to art school in Rotterdam, and that's where I did a sort of creative direction course, very broad, more commercial, figuring out where I wanted to go. And I was always drawn to ceramics, like in shops, in restaurants, collecting, and started to feel like I want to figure or like play with clay and see what that does. So in my academy, I started to go to the workshops of ceramics, and started to learn and explore the basics a little bit. And then as part of my graduation, I did a ceramic project where I researched the food industry and ended up using waste streams from shrimps, so the sea waste, into ceramic glazing. And that was sort of the start of my ceramic journey. It was I won a prize with that project, research prize as part of my graduation, and then knew I wanted to pursue ceramics. But as part of my studies, I went to Cape Town for an internship, because in the third year you needed to do internship, and I wanted to go explore the world, so wanted to go overseas. Had a really cool time, and after my studies, went back to the same company to work there. So came back to Cape Town, that's 8 years ago, and then ended up working for 3 years at this creative design studio company. So I've always been working in the creative field, but working full time, so I couldn't pursue pottery fully, but I always did it for myself. Went to a studio to learn, to practice as a hobby. And back in my mind had this sort of itch or dream, like, what if, can I have a studio? What would that be? Is that something where I want to be? And then after 3 years of working at the company in Cape Town, I quit, and I thought, this is my time to delve into the pottery, but probably back in Amsterdam. So thinking going back to Amsterdam, but then COVID came, so I couldn't leave, which in the end was kind of a blessing. COVID became a sort of a reset for me, where I had time to make a new life almost. So I ended up staying in Cape Town, and that slowly started my own ceramic studio. In the first months or time of my little space, which wasn't yet a studio, I tried to work with the shells here as well. So I used crayfish in glazing, which came out really beautiful. And then I made a sort of a plate, which was more like a wall hanging. And then a friend of a friend or a friend of mine bought it. And I was just like, wow, somebody wants to buy this piece, you know? There's like, so I think I see that one as the first one, whereas I still was like, wow, that was special, yeah. And that was, I think 4 years ago, one of the first pieces. But it started just as me exploring, because in the years of doing it once a week or at home for myself, it was just trying things out and learning the wheel. But I always had this big thing for material, which started with my graduation project, where it was really about the glazing and using waste and raw clay. So that was a big part. But my studio officially started with being here, still going to a studio once a week, but then having an order from Amsterdam about the glazing with the shrimps from a friend from the studies. So I needed more space and time. So I rented a space at another studio and another ceramicist. And then my partner at the time was really supportive and saying, I think you just need a space where you can just be full-time and where you can explore and grow and see where this takes you. Yeah, really encouraging me, really supporting me and believing in me. And then that was the time where we started to look for a space. And then instead of going 3 hours a week, being somewhere you pay a little bit more in rent, but then you're able to just do it, you know? So I didn't have a strong identity yet. It was just a place for me to be creative, to learn, find a small kiln, get a table, a shelf. That's literally how it started. And then basically by just wanted to keep growing, but couldn't afford necessarily to be alone in the space. At first I was there with a friend. She was doing jewelry, and then she moved out. And I was like, well, keep doing this? How can I do this? A lot of people are interested in pottery. It's been gaining a lot of interest in the past year. So every time I spoke about my pottery, people are like, can I come for class? So it's like, let me start classes so then I can pay my rent and continue my journey and see where it goes. So that's how my studio became more official and grew in itself by needing to make a page that was actually Clay Atelier. So that was the sort of part of my business which hosts workshops and classes. And I can't remember if Nammu started before or Clay Atelier, but it was all at the same time. Whereas before I had my own little page with Jade Ceramics, posting some of the cute things I did. And then at some point it's like, no, this needs to become a brand. So
how do you get to the name?
It's a Sumerian goddess from the sea and creation. And when I found that, I was looking at different names, and I'm very inspired by ancient craft and mythology. And when I found that name and that goddess, I thought it was beautiful because my journey started with the material from the sea. So that's where Nammu came from. Yeah, because I didn't want to call it Jade Ceramics because here in South Africa it's seen as jade, which is both beautiful names but very different. So I wanted to create a brand that can also at some point maybe be separate from me. So that's Nammu. So Nammu and Clay Atelier are sort of two sisters under one roof. Nammu is my production or line of crockery, functional ware that we sell, and then Clay Atelier is the space where we host workshops and courses and memberships. So it's a nice combination of the two. My business grew very organically. It was like from having my own space, okay, let's do the workshops, let's go to a market, sell my stuff. So it wasn't like I'm opening a business that now is selling pottery, right? So in that sense, it wasn't a hardcore journey, but therefore also never ending. It's like it's been really interesting, really challenging at times, where you're like, wow, feels like it's never ending. Now you need to think of this and that, but also really empowering. So, but it's been also very interesting of where you grow. So there's bigger orders. I can't do this by myself. I need more skilled people or just more hands to help me. And that's then we've been slowly finding stuff. And, but then now at this stage, my staff is producing almost all the work and I'm managing it, which is really cool. But also I feel like sometimes I'm not a potter anymore, which has been an interesting journey of finding the balance there. And then now coming to a point where we've grown so much that we hopefully can hire the right people soon with the skills that I don't have or don't want to do, the clever organization people, and take over more of the mundane admin tasks so I can have a bit more free time for the core creative play to develop and grow the business in that sense. But I think balance in the past 2 years have always been a thing that comes up when I'm reflecting, like, oh, how can I balance the two? But generally, it's been really wonderful to learn that part and actually tap into all these things of managing and dealing with people, but also creating now a hopefully beautiful work environment for people. So that's been more on my mind lately. It's obviously creating the pots and the brand and what do we put out there, but I'm trying to grow in a sense as a leader or manager, and how I can have a beautiful workspace. And I never thought, when I was thinking, oh, I imagine having a studio one day, I didn't think of imagine having a business that I'm running, dealing with people and clients and admin and tax and accountants and but it's really, I feel really grateful that I can do this and that it's going and that we're growing and that there's opportunities and that I have a beautiful team, and so it's been really beautiful. But it's not easy. It's definitely, there's been lots of setbacks or things go wrong, but you learn from everything. And I think that's been the most rewarding of it all for now. Like, it's been obviously really cool to see my product out there and people buying it and interested and acknowledging it, but seeing the growth that I've been through and my staff has been so special. And that's, I think, that's filling me more than the ceramics itself.
My name is May Savanda, and I'm a ceramist at Nammu Clay Atelier. I knew nothing about clay. I knew nothing of what is going to happen and how it's going to go. But the moment I started, it was really, really good, and she took me through all the processes, and she taught me everything that I know now. It was different when there was only me and her, and things changed when there were other people joined, and now there's the studio, there's also other people that I have to make sure that things are going well. But the good part is the team. Everyone is, all their head is on the ground. So it's a little bit easier, even though sometimes when she's not around, many things go wrong. A lot of things go wrong. But I enjoy working with the team. With pottery, it's just simple. The moment you start, you can't stop. So just do it every day that you find clay, do something with it. So it's nice. Once you start, you can't afford to not do it, because you will enjoy and you want the texture of clay in your hand. Just makes you want to do it every day.
Malos Lundu. The main thing which I do here is on the production, working on the wheel. And not only that, but also to prepare the clay, to make sure that the clay which is to be used both on the hand build and on the machine is properly prepared. The first day when I got into the pottery, that was on 1st April 1994. That was my first day to touch clay. So I never expected that out of clay someone can create something else. So it was like the first day whereby I was very happy to work with clay, because when the children are playing with clay, no, don't touch clay, don't touch clay. But I did not know that there is a future in clay. Very few people, because there is a skill which was ignored most here in Africa. It was like the skill which was like ignored. But now I encourage them, wherever they are, they must now turn their mind to work with clay, because in working with clay, there is a future. The clay will never end. The money which you spend for buying the clay is very, very little. But what we sell is the skill out of the clay. So wherever they are, the clay is free of charge. You go and dig out the clay. You make your own things you create. Like here in Africa, you will have at least the different source of firing the products. Not all the products can fire using the electricity. The other products we can use fire them using the wood, whatever. You can make something which you can even export. In so doing, you can make your life better rather than maybe saying, okay, working for the vacancies, whatever. But out of clay, there's a future.
Hello, I am Loda Marimbasa. I'm working here at Nammu as an assistant. It's amazing. It's good to be in pottery because you relax when you are building something. It's like all your mind, all you are thinking is what you are doing. So it's good to be here. You can relax, you can spend more time doing it.
Yeah, last year we did a collaboration with Studio Lloyd, as they are a beautiful lighting furniture design company that I've also always sort of looked up to. It's also woman-owned, and she started a few years earlier, and I've always felt like, wow, look at where she's at and what she's doing, and incredible. So it was really an honor to work with her. So we basically combined two of our, well, not significant shapes or ways. I do a lot of totemi or footed vessels, and I created the lamp base and she the shades with her sort of signature crochet craft, how she designs her pieces. So that's a really beautiful design item that came alive from that. So we have our shop here in the studio on Loop Street in Cape Town CBD, and we opened a store in the Watershed last year. So we also we have our own stand there, and we do a few we stock a few shops like Strangers Club, Africa and the Waterfront, and we do lots of custom work, or we sell cups to coffee shops. So Nammu is spread around in Cape Town. Limb furniture, these dreams can definitely become reality, and just start small and try and might be that hobby on the side or this little thing you do once a week, but then just pursue it and see where it goes, you know? Because I was also always a person that could easily see, in Dutch you would say, bomen op de weg, like obstacles. Yeah, but this could be difficult, that, or I might not stay in Cape Town, so then why would I do this? Well, if you leave, then you get rid of it, you know? It's this mentality of just try, and it's not much, well, to lose, as in if you start slowly and see if it really enlights that fire and continue that, yeah. Because I've worked a lot in the food industry, and obviously ceramics also tied into food. One woman I really admire is Laila Gohar. She has some incredible food design experiences all over the world. So that would be amazing. Work with her, but yeah, and develop maybe some sort of crockery for her installations or work. I think, yeah, I would like to be remembered as, I know I can't change the world, or ceramics is not something that impacts the world dramatically, or is the most sustainable thing out there. But I think I would like to be remembered as somebody that created a nice, warm, safe work environment, and hopefully empowered some people and grow some people's lives together with her own. So it's not just about me.